What is one thing that you flat out just don't know how people afford? Secret hidden families. I can barely afford one. Amazed you can afford one hidden family. You guys have a family? You live in a house? You are living? Eyelash extensions and the upkeep of them. I got them. They took 2 hours to put on initially, and then you have to go back every 2 weeks to get them filled, or you look like you have mange. You also have to brush them every single morning, or they will point in every direction. And God help you if you have a cold or allergies where your eyes get even slight buildup. You can't just pick any crusty shit from your eyelashes because the fake ones are glued on, and this acts as a stopper, so you can't just slide it off your lash. I spent so many mornings standing in front of the mirror cleaning and arranging one fucking eyelash at a time. I couldn't deal. Well, I guess I'll just stick to using mascara. It's like my lashes can barely afford their own rent, let alone extensions. I still don't know how we afforded daycare. At one point had 2 kids in daycare for a year before oldest went to kindergarten. We paid $42K/Y for 2 kids in daycare. When I filed my taxes, the SO for the Winair had like a confetti animation to tell us we qualified for a $200 deduction. I hate this for you. Also for me. Childcare is awful for everyone involved. Workers aren't paid enough. Kids want to be with parents. Parents want to be with kids, but have to pay for someone else to be with their kids. It's just a crappy system. Yeah, that tax childcare deduction ain't shit, nor is the child tax credit lol. Hello there. We all have that one thing we just can't wrap our heads around how people afford. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and let us know in the comments what leaves you scratching your head. The mystery begins now. People who eat exclusively by ordering takeaways or delivery from restaurants. It's mind-bogglingly expensive. My neighbor is always ordering food delivered. They come to our door a lot by mistake. Plus, the dud gets a Uber to and from work. They lost their home and are staying with a relative. They also have 4 huge dogs. I know they are probably working for minimum. Unreal. I had an ex that would DoorDash at least one of her meals every day. Blew my mind since I meal prep and try not to even hit a drive-through. That's me actually. I spread the delivered meals over multiple meals to reduce the cost, but it still probably comes out to about $1,000 in food every month. It's worth it to me to save time, but it's a bad financial move. I don't know what I'd do if I was spend constrained. It's probably my biggest expense after rent. I once tried to calculate how many meals I could order from restaurants, and the numbers made me order a pizza. To ease the pain of realizing I can't afford it. A boat or RV, or both? I can barely afford to exist, much less spend all this money on recreation. The default payment plan many boat dealerships offer is a 12-year loan. Even if you buy used, banks will give very long terms for boats. They'll float you a loan. Well done. I can't even splurge on a fancy coffee, let alone a whole boat. I think I'll just stick to admiring them from afar. Or on Instagram. Women who keep up with nails, lash extensions, Botox, etc. That shit is expensive as fuck. I was going to say nails. They need to be filled like every 2 weeks, same with lashes. Doing all that plus $300 to $400 hair treatments is wild to me. I get my nails done once a month, a hair every 2 months. Every paycheck I put a little in savings to pay for it. I'm not rich, but I make a good salary. I'm also willing to cut back in other areas to afford it. First class airfare, it's just so overwhelmingly expensive in comparison to regular seats. I can't imagine anyone ever having that amount to spare unless you're incredibly wealthy. Very few people pay cash. They do it with points or someone else is paying. Can confirm. I can't swing first class, but I've done domestic business and it was definitely because I had points to burn. What I don't understand is how people get so many points. I've flown 10 round-trip flights on Delta in the past 18 months, including an intercontinental trip, and I'm nowhere near enough points to qualify for any benefits. I suspect people are spending a fortune on airline credit cards to rack up those points, which I refuse to believe nets out ahead of a free credit card with cashback. I can barely afford a regular seat on the bus, let alone splurging on first-class airfare. Guess I'll be strapping my seatbelt and dreaming of champagne from the back. Multiple family foreign holidays per year. Edit. To be clear, I'm not criticizing anyone on this, and I appreciate that if you live in mainland Europe, it's easier than here, Scotland. I am just genuinely amused/bemused when I see people on their 2/3/4 foreign holiday of the year on social media. We went to Portugal last year, fantastic country, BTW. 2 adults 2 kids, eldest boy was playing in a football tournament, and it was probably £3,500 and that was done cheaply. We don't go into debt for a holiday ever, though. International first class tickets. I'm going to Japan in a month and was thinking of going in style. I got a nice raise and a bit of vacation time saved and wanted to treat myself. Fuck all. $17,000 was the cheapest I found. Absolutely insane. Try business, cheaper but miles ahead of economy. I thought it was only a few seats ahead. If you have to ask, your seats behind. Stop trying to coin the phrase seats behind and call 221. Elder care. $300 a day is about typical for most states, and it goes up if they need special care, dementia, etc. 3/4 of Americans who live to 21 live to 65, of which 2/3 will need long-term care for an average of 3 years. Maybe not all long-term care is nursing level, but some of it is even more expensive, memory care, etc. Comes out to roughly $150,000 per person and almost double that if you limit to those who need any at all. Somewhere between a generous down payment and a new house. Who can afford that, especially after decades not working? Sauces, some URL, some URL. Can't believe I had to scroll so far to find this. I'm at the age where this is becoming an issue for many of my friends' parents, and it's overwhelming. How do these people have 11-13K per month, per person? My coworkers get lunch out 4 to 5 times a week. I have no idea how they do it. I bring lunch 4 times a week and get lunch out one day as a treat. Haha, my family does this. $15 lunch every day, sometimes breakfast before work too, and I'm over here either bringing lunch or buying the $1 peanuts from store. Even when they are on their last $30 they'll buy lunch, like adding that up is like $450 a month. My family does this too. Claims to be poor but always eating out and buying insane amounts of brand name junk food. Those who say eating out is often cheaper than buying groceries have no idea how to budget. They always get caught up in the price of ingredients for one meal without considering how far you can stretch that. My coworkers must have mastered the art of financial teleportation. I, on the other hand, am still stuck in the bring your own lunch dimension. Being a bridesmaid. Weddings have become so much more elaborate, with multiple showers and bachelorette weekends. Bachelor and bachelorette weekends have just become too much. I got married 9 years ago, and we went to a bar for the night, and got wasted. Now it seems like everyone has to go for a 2 to 3 night destination weekend extravaganza. Which cost $1K plus on top of more traditional expenses. So glad almost all my friends are married. Yes. And for women, it's often expected now to have decorations and t-shirts made and outings on these trip and dinner, and I could go on and on. It's ridiculous and I blame it all on Instagram. My wife went on a bachelorette trip this year, and had to bring decorations. All I could think was why? You're going to another city, enjoy the city. I guess I'll just stick to being the professional wedding crasher. I bring my own snacks and can dance like no one's watching. As I passed through a poorer neighborhood in 1990s and saw dilapidated homes with satellite dishes, I criticized them. My coworker said they just need a little joy in their life, and that stuck with me. That explains 90% of the answers here. Life sucks a little less if you can indulge yourself a little, or a lot. Mental health treatment. You'd have to be crazy to spend that kind of money. Fine, take the upvote. It was nearly impossible for me to find a therapist who takes my insurance, which is a major insurance company. When I finally did, it's out of network billing, so I pay and then get reimbursed by the insurance company, but only after all my deductibles are met. I go weekly and it's very helpful for me, but this is only possible because I had a major surgery in January and blew through all of my deductibles during the first month of the year. It's $400 a session and I pay an out-of-pocket co-pay of $75 a week, which my insurance then reimburses me for, usually 2 to 3 weeks later. At this point, it's essentially free for me, but I'm dreading the end of the year when everything resets because I'm going to have to quit. I can't afford $400 a week. Mental health care is truly outrageous. Gestures widely to everything.